There's a moment when the world goes quiet. Not because it's peaceful, but because the truth has shattered everything. You've just found out your husband was unfaithful. And you know, somewhere between the disbelief and the devastation, shame sneaks in. A heavy, soul-splitting shame. One that whispers, "How could you not see it? What did you do wrong? Why weren't you enough?" Today, we're going to talk about that shame, the kind that creeps in quietly after someone you trusted has betrayed you. It's a feeling that can be hard to name, but even harder to shake. I want to be clear about something right from the start. His betrayal, his choices, are not your burden to carry. The weight of his actions does not belong on your shoulders, no matter how heavy it feels right now. When someone you love is unfaithful, it doesn't just shatter the trust you built together. It can feel like it shatters your very sense of reality, your understanding of who you are and what you're worth. The pain of infidelity goes deeper than most people realize. It can break your sense of self-worth, leaving you questioning your value, your choices, and even your ability to trust yourself again. But remember, this pain is not a reflection of your worth. It's a wound, not a definition. And when it's your husband, the person you built a life with, the shame feels deeper. It's not just he cheated. It becomes, what's wrong with me that he cheated? That shame is powerful. It can convince you that you were lacking. That if you had only been prettier, sexier, more patient, more fun, that maybe, just maybe, he wouldn't have strayed. Sometimes, in the quiet moments, a voice inside whispers that the betrayal was somehow your fault, that you weren't enough, or that you did something to deserve it. But that's a lie. I want you to know, truly and deeply, that betrayal is never a reflection of your worth or your value as a person. It's not about your flaws, your mistakes, or anything you could have done differently. The truth is, betrayal happens because of the choices someone else made, their actions, their decisions, their inability to honor your trust. You are not to blame for the pain someone else caused. Remember, you are worthy of love, respect, and honesty, no matter what someone else chose to do. Let me tell you about Maya. Maya had been married for 12 years. 2 kids, a modest home, family trips every summer. She wasn't perfect, but she loved deeply. She showed up for her marriage even when it was hard. She forgave him for being distant, chalked it up to work stress. She gave grace again and again. And then she found the messages. Her husband had been seeing someone else, someone younger. Someone he told, "I feel more alive with you." And Maya? She crumbled, but not because of him, because of the shame that wrapped around her like a snake. What kind of woman doesn't notice? What kind of wife loses her husband to someone else? She asked herself those questions in the dark, while holding back tears in front of her children, pretending everything was fine. But it wasn't. And one night she stood in front of the mirror and asked, "Why do I feel ashamed for something I didn't do?" Shame after betrayal is a learned response. It's rooted in how we're taught to define our worth, as women, as wives, as partners. We are conditioned to believe that keeping a man is a reflection of our value, that if he cheats, we've failed at some invisible test. But the truth is, someone else's lack of integrity has nothing to do with your value. Shame grows in silence. It grows when you don't talk about it, when you hide what happened, when you think you have to wear a brave face and act like nothing's broken. But you are allowed to be broken. You are allowed to be angry, to grieve, to fall apart. What you are not required to do is carry shame for his choices. The weight of shame can feel suffocating, like a heavy blanket you can't shake off. It lingers in quiet moments, whispering doubts and replaying memories you wish you could erase. So how do you begin to release that shame and reclaim your sense of self? The journey starts by gently changing the story you tell yourself, one thought at a time. It's about noticing the words you use when you talk to yourself and realizing how powerful those words can be. It begins with catching those harsh, critical thoughts, the ones that say, "I wasn't enough," or "I should have seen it coming." These thoughts can feel automatic, but they are not the truth of who you are. With practice, you can start to replace those old beliefs with new, compassionate ones. Instead of blaming yourself, remind yourself, "He wasn't ready to be the man I deserved." This shift is not about denying the pain, but about honoring your own worth. When you catch yourself spiraling into self-blame, pause and ask, "Is this really my fault?" Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" a question that can keep you stuck in the past. Try asking, "What am I learning about my strength through this pain?" Each time you choose self-compassion over self-criticism, you take another step toward healing. Remember, changing the inner conversation is a process, and every gentle word you offer yourself matters. In moments when the weight of betrayal feels overwhelming, pause and turn inward. Look at yourself with the same gentle eyes you'd use for someone you love deeply. Speak to yourself with the kindness you'd offer your daughter, your sister, or your very best friend, someone whose heart you'd do anything to protect. Imagine if they came to you, tears in their eyes, telling you they'd been betrayed. You'd never blame them for what happened. You'd never say it was their fault or that they somehow deserved the pain. You'd never say they weren't enough or that they should have seen it coming. Instead, you'd remind them of their worth and hold space for their pain without judgment. You'd say, "He broke a promise. You didn't cause this." You'd reassure them that trust was given in good faith, and that the betrayal says nothing about their value or their lovability. You need to say the same to yourself. Offer yourself the same compassion, the same understanding, and the same forgiveness you so freely give to others. Healing begins when you treat your own heart with the tenderness it deserves. So back to Maya. Months after the betrayal, she started therapy. She journaled every night, writing letters she'd never send. She stopped asking why he did it and started asking how she could heal. She looked in the mirror again one day, and instead of seeing a woman who was cheated on, she saw a woman who survived it. She told her shame it no longer had a home in her heart. She started rebuilding her life, one small, strong, beautiful piece at a time. Healing doesn't mean you forget. It means you no longer let the pain define you. You are more than what he did. You are more than who left. You are more than the questions that keep you up at night. This isn't just about getting over him. It's not simply about moving past the pain or forgetting the moments that broke your heart. It's about something deeper, something far more powerful. It's about coming home to you, to the person you were before the betrayal, and to the person you are now, wiser, stronger, and more compassionate. You are still worthy, even when your confidence wavers. You are still radiant, even on the days when you feel dimmed by sorrow. You are still enough, and you always were. Even when doubt whispers otherwise, even when the world feels heavy, your value remains untouched. You are not defined by what happened to you, but by the courage you show in rising again. If no one else has told you this today, I'm proud of you. For surviving the storm, for holding on when it felt impossible, for letting yourself feel and heal. You have walked through fire and emerged, not unscathed, but unbroken. For waking up when you wanted to disappear. For choosing to greet the morning, even when the weight of the night still lingers. Every small act of courage is a victory. For choosing healing, even when it hurts. For allowing yourself to feel, to grieve, and to hope again. This journey is yours, and every step you take is a testament to your resilience, your beauty, and your unbreakable spirit. Shame has no place in your story. Only courage, grace, and the wild, resilient love you're learning to give yourself. This is your chapter now, not his betrayal, your becoming. If this spoke to you, subscribe and join our healing community. There's more strength in your story than you know, and you don't have to walk through this alone. Thanks for watching.